dear listeners, to Hitchhiker's Horror, 3 true terrifying tales. As we journey through the night, we invite you to buckle up and join us on this eerie ride. From the comfort of your seats, you'll traverse desolate highways and lonely roads, meeting the strangest of strangers and experiencing the most chilling tales ever told. We caution you, these are not your average bedtime stories. These are tales that will make you question every solitary figure you see on the roadside, every unexpected passenger you might pick up on a lonesome journey. So brace yourself, check your rearview mirror, and remember, not all who wander are lost, some are merely unseen. Now let's begin our journey. Our first tale tonight takes us down a dark, desolate road with a lone traveler, a silent radio, and an unseen companion. Visualize an isolated road, cloaked in profound darkness, the only disturbance to the overwhelming silence being the occasional chirping of crickets and the steady hum of a car engine. Our eerie narrative tonight unfolds with a solitary voyager navigating through an unending night, his headlights slicing the murky darkness like a sword. His only companion in this solitude, the radio, playing a haunting melody at a low volume, providing a soft counterpoint to the deafening loneliness enveloping the road. The traveler had frequented these lonely roads on solitary journeys before. He had driven through countless moonless nights, but this particular journey was destined to take a chilling turn. As he trudged down the desolate road, a shadowy figure materialized from the obsidian darkness, a lone hitchhiker stationed on there with his thumb extended, inviting a ride. Stirred by a pang of compassion, or perhaps a deep yearning for some human interaction, the traveler braked his vehicle. The hitchhiker, with a weary sigh, climbed into the back seat, his mumbled gratitude disrupting the quietude of the night. The traveler attempted to strike up a conversation, to fill the air with some comforting human noise, but his newfound companion responded only with monosyllables, his voice the cold whisper of a ghost, sending shivers down the traveler's spine. As the miles wore on, a creeping unease began to take root in the traveler's heart. The hitchhiker was now eerily silent, and the rearview mirror reflected only undulating shadows. A cold chill pierced the traveler's spine, a sense of foreboding that clung to him, refusing to be shaken off. The silence stretched on, the only sounds being the rhythmic hum of the engine and the occasional rustle from the back seat, each amplifying the unsettling atmosphere. Eventually, driven by a mounting sense of dread, the traveler decided to pull over. With a deep, shaky breath, he braced himself, ready to confront his phantom-like passenger. But when he turned around, the back seat was ominously empty. The hitchhiker, like a spectre, had evaporated into thin air. There was no evidence of his presence, no indication that he had ever existed in the first place. Only the echo of his chilling whispers and the biting cold left in his wake remained. The traveler was left alone once again, with only the darkness as his company and a spine-tingling tale etched into his memory. A tale of the unseen traveler, the phantom hitchhiker who dissipated into the night. Sometimes, it's not merely the living but the spectral dead who actively seek passage. Tonight, we delve into our second story, a blood-chilling narrative that progressively blurs the boundary separating the tangible reality and the spectral realm. Join me as we embark on a journey down a desolate stretch of highway, a place where our unsuspecting protagonist finds himself confronted with an uncanny encounter, a hitchhiker of a peculiar nature. The tale commences on a frosty, moon-drenched night. Our driver, a stoic individual of strong conviction, was steering his way home along a bleak, isolated road. Suddenly, from a fleeting glimpse in his peripheral vision, he spotted a solitary figure, a young woman standing lost and alone by the wayside. Her thumb was pointed outwards, a silent plea for a ride home. The hour was late and the surroundings were eerie, yet he felt moved by a sense of chivalry and concern for the woman's well-being. No further, he pulled over, allowing the stranger to slide into the passenger seat with a grateful smile. She was exceptionally beautiful, yet her beauty seemed tainted by an air of melancholy, hanging around her like a mournful shroud. She introduced herself as Mary and gestured towards an old house nestled on the town's outskirts, signaling her destination. As they journeyed along, the driver couldn't help but take notice of her startlingly cold hands and the distant, dreamy look in her eyes. It was as if Mary was not entirely present, lost in a world within herself. She began to share snippets of her life, painting an intriguing canvas of a time long past. Her words were steeped in nostalgia, her narratives populated with faces and places that felt out of place in the modern world. The driver, though puzzled, listened to her tales with polite curiosity, attributing her oddities to the eccentricities of a peculiar mind. Upon arrival at their destination, he turned to bid his farewell, only to find the passenger seat hauntingly empty. Mary had mysteriously disappeared, as if she was never there to begin with. Startled, he raced to the house she had pointed out earlier, a desperate need for answers making his heart pound. Upon knocking, an elderly woman answered the door. Her face turned ashen as he recounted his unnerving encounter. She revealed with a shudder that Mary was her daughter, who had tragically perished more than 2 decades ago in a car accident on that very stretch of road. Ever since, there have been numerous sightings of her spectral figure hitchhiking, eternally attempting to journey home. His blood ran cold at the woman's revelation, the chilling coincidences, the intricate details that aligned so uncannily with the local law, the heart-rendingly beautiful girl who had left a phantom imprint in his car. All the puzzling pieces fell into place with a terrifying crash. He was left grappling with a horrifying truth, the realization that he had offered a ride not to a woman, but a phantom hitchhiker, a spectre forever trapped in the endless loop of her tragic demise. The hitchhiker hadn't simply vanished. The terrifying reality was that she had never truly been there. She was nothing more than a phantom of the road. Every path has its myths, and the next narrative we unravel is one that paints an even deeper mystery to the allure of the open road. We've heard the tales of the ghostly hitchhiker and the ominous do-gooder, but what about those meetings that are beyond comprehension? The ones that shake the very foundation of reality, leaving us questioning our own existence. This is the unparalleled, our central character, whom we'll refer to as John, found himself in one destiny-laden night. John, a seasoned voyager, was navigating a lonely highway when an odd sight captured his attention. A car, indistinguishable from his idling on the side of the desolate highway. Piqued by curiosity, he decided to stop and inspect. The sight that met his eyes defied all logic. The driver of the identical car was a man mirroring his own appearance. This doppelganger, apparently just as shocked as John, introduced himself as, uncannily, John. They shared more than just a name. Memories, both mundane and significant, flowed between them like mirror images. The joy of his first bicycle ride, the pain of his first heartbreak, even the unique scar from a long-forgotten childhood mishap. Their past was a copy-paste of each other's. It was as if John was peering into a reflecting glass, one that mirrored not just his physical likeness, but also his entire life's journey. This eerie encounter took a more surreal turn, as the doppelganger didn't just share the past, he began to unveil the future. He spoke of events that were yet to unfold, decisions that John had not yet pondered upon, and paths that were unexplored. He urged John to dare to be different, to break the repetitive cycle, to reshape his life's trajectory. As the strange dialogue came to a close, the doppelganger vanished into thin air, leaving no evidence of his existence. John, still reeling from the shock, resumed his journey, his mind a tumultuous storm of thoughts. This cryptic meeting forced him to question his sanity, his own reality. It was a stark reminder that sometimes the most spine-chilling stories are the ones that hit closest to home. The most blood-curdling encounters are not with spectral entities or malevolent Samaritans, but with our own selves. The road, they say, is not merely a line connecting two destinations. It's a portal for the bizarre, the spine-chilling and the unfathomable. It's in our nature to help others, but what if that very nature leads us into the jaws of danger? It was a typical evening when our unsuspecting traveler, let's call him Lucius, found himself thumbing a ride on a deserted highway. A car pulled over, its headlights piercing the gloom. The driver, with a warm smile and a friendly wave, offered him a ride. As they drove off into the night, Lucius couldn't shake off a sense of unease. There was just something about the driver. His smile seemed a little too wide, his laughter a bit too forced. The driver's conversation swayed from the mundane to the obscure, often veering into the macabre. He spoke of strange rituals, unsolved mysteries, and chilling tales of the road. Lucius's unease grew with each passing mile, his instincts screaming at him that something wasn't right. He noticed the driver's grip on the steering wheel tighten, his knuckles turning white. His eyes, once jovial, now held a glint that made Lucius's blood run cold. The driver's stories took an even darker turn. He began to talk about how easy it would be to make someone disappear on a deserted highway. He spoke with a chilling detail that hinted at a familiarity with the subject. His laughter echoed in the car, a sinister soundtrack to his terrifying narrative. Realization hit Lucius like a punch to the gut. He was in a car with a predator, a wolf in sheep's clothing. His heart pounded in his chest as he weighed his options. He could jump out of the moving car, but the speed at which they were traveling made that a risky proposition. He could try to confront the driver, but the man's size and demeanor suggested that wouldn't end well. A desperate bid for freedom, Lucius decided to play along, to lull the driver into a false sense of security. He laughed at the driver's morbid jokes, even shared a few of his own. He could see the driver relax, his grip on the steering wheel loosening. Seizing his chance, Lucius feigned sickness, begging the driver to pull over. The driver, taken aback, complied. As soon as the car slowed down, Lucius flung the door open, tumbling out onto the hard asphalt. He sprinted into the darkness, the driver's shouts of anger echoing behind him. He didn't stop running until he was sure he was safe, the adrenaline pumping in his veins the only thing keeping him going. He had escaped, but the memory of that sinister ride haunted him for years to come. It was a chilling reminder that not all who offer help do so with good intentions. Sometimes the most dangerous predators are those who wear the mask of a Samaritan.